Hey everybody. So, my birthday present to me this year was the desk, the microphone, my classes, because I spent a good amount of money on the personal training and yoga classes. So getting my setup together was pretty much what I got myself as a birthday gift. But I ended up getting a couple recreational things too, such as the Crest of Light, which we just talked about, which will probably be here towards the end of May. And I got this Oracle deck, which is going to be a kind of long story. Because first and foremost, check this out. Clow cards, like from Cardcaptor Sakura. And let me preface this by saying I have never actually watched, I had never actually watched Cardcaptors. That was an anime that was super popular when I was a kid. All of my friends liked it, but I never watched it. I liked Dragon Ball Z, I liked Naruto, I liked Yu Yu Hakusho and Inuyasha, and like shows like that. Cardcaptors was girly and didn't really seem that relevant to me at the time. But, like I was telling you the other day with Dragon Ball Z and Digimon, they've been popping up on my Red Note feed a lot, and I saw a bunch of clips from Cardcaptors, and I saw that essentially it was kind of like tarot cards, or rather Oracle cards. There's a little keychain. That's fun. I wasn't expecting that. What am I going to do with that? Alright, anyway. I saw that they were pretty much like Tarot Oracle cards, and I was guided to buy the set. So I ended up doing that because they looked pretty well made, and the original cloud card design is a lot more masculine than the reimagining. Like when Sakura has to reinvent the cards using her own power, they become really girly and pink and all that stuff. But the original design is more like red and gold, and it's pretty damn cool. So we got the case with the original art from the book that she gets the cards out of. And after I ordered it, it wasn't until after I ordered it, I actually went and watched the entire series. The last couple weeks I've spent going back and watching that. There's like an inscription that she reads in the anime to like release the cards or whatever. And I think they're a little bit bigger than I thought they would be. They're a little bit taller. Like, I would have a hard time shuffling these normally. But the artwork looks pretty cool. That's the back of the cards. And essentially, I watched the anime so that I would be able to interpret these. Which the anime is not bad, but I would argue that there's no real antagonists and nothing really terrible or tragic happens. Like, emotionally, it wasn't very deep. I tend to like things that have a darker storyline. I think that there's a lot more weight when the stakes are high. And in that anime, nothing bad ever really happened. Even the battles that were battles weren't really battles. But there's a lot of really good interpretations that could be made from these. Like, this is the change card, all about transformation. The return, things coming back from the past. The maze, essentially a labyrinth. You could see how the storm, the oracle, could have a lot of really good representations here. We've got the thunder. And before I actually use these, like the windy, which was the starter card, and the light here, there's a lot of really cool cards in here. But before we do anything with that, I'm going to cleanse them. The book is actually really cool. That's magnetic. I don't really keep the cases for cards usually. Maybe I will for this one. So this time, we've got this teardrop holder, right? This is actually what I intended to store the Chintamani in. This is what I was going to hang on the wall. But I ended up using the glass case instead because the Chintamani was too big for this, just by a little bit. It was a little bit too large to fit inside this. So I had a bunch of rose quartz that I wanted to use for purifying things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the rose quartz that I stored inside, and we are going to clear the deck. I think this may have actually, these particular rose quartz pieces may have come from Empress and Company. And pretty much, we're just going to take the quartz and place them over the card top. Draw all of the energy up into the stones, which won't hold a negative charge, right? Then we're going to place these back inside and sage these out. Probably a little bit later tonight. Everybody's cleansing practices are going to be a little bit different. Yours don't have to look like anybody else's. Six of Wands, we're good to go. Justice, light. So, breath is how we infuse new energy, our energy, into them. And I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. We've got the light and the maze on the split here, because my hands are really just not big enough to do that. I've seen people shuffle like this, but I don't know. I've really never shuffled outside of holding it long ways and going like this. When I played Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid, this is how I shuffled. These are too long, though. I don't even know if I could bridge these properly. Maybe I don't have to get them on the end entirely. I can just... Oh, okay. Well, that won't not work. But I really studied while I was watching the show how these this is weird, but it could work. Okay. How the elemental affinities worked here. So, like, we've got the Earthy, which is the element Earth card. And then we've got the Dream, which, in the show, the Dream talks to the card captor in their sleep, essentially. It shows them visions of the future, warnings, things they need to know. When they captured it, it appeared as a blue butterfly stuck to the bottom of the shoe. And this is exactly why I watched the show after I ordered it. Not because I was super interested in the show, but because I wanted to be able to say, I have context. If I know in the show the Dream card appeared as a blue butterfly, that's synchronistic. You know what I mean? And the Earthy appeared in the show as a dragon made of rock, popping up in the middle of the city. And if we're looking at this in our regular oracle context, what else do we need? Nothing. The nothing is on the bottom. So I think our message is going to be from this. And I ended up pulling 2 tarot cards just to like help me out here. We only have a couple seconds. And I got Temperance and the Knight of Cups. This is about our vision of the future for the planet 3D and 5D existence. This is about our vision for the Earth. This is taking a step forward